Mm-hmm. Got your schedule. Mm. Oh yeah, she woman. This is my goth character. She's a witch. I was thinking of writing her some by writing I mean in my own canon for my characters that only exists in my brain. I was thinking she might have like a little bit of gender fuckery going on. It generally goes by like she, her. Oh, yeah. I wasn't even sure what Kiss Cut. I was like, oh, what is that? I think die cut and kiss cut are just like slightly different cuts, and I think kiss cut is like maybe a closer cut. I didn't look into it that much. I was just looking at prices mostly. Ah, okay. Wait, no, I'll go the other way. Yeah, that's what I was looking at before. And I was like comparing sites that had sheet options. I feel really bad if you spent like a bunch of money just to send me some stickers. Like, yeah, they're cool custom stickers, but like, I feel bad if you spent like a lot of money and had to buy in bulk or something. Or had to like pay more because you weren't buying in bulk. Mm-mm. I hope my tiny bit of knowledge and research sort of helps. I haven't done a lot of print on demand, but I left Redbubble a while ago because of it's kind of known for like people like scalpers essentially will. Is that what they're called? Scalpers? Essentially, yeah. Will like steal a lot of designs off Redbubble and Society6 and resell them on like AliExpress and Amazon and stuff. So I was like, well, what's another print-on-demand site that isn't garbage? And Printful seems a little bit better for getting that kind of stuff made. And you can like integrate it with other online shops and stuff like that. So I was like, might do that in the future. Mm. Um, Put my laptop back out. Oh, ice cream sandwich. Oh, I forgot to put the volume on. Hold on. I'll close this because I just got to the end of that episode, so I'll have to save it. Read this later.
In these boxes are the worst hobbies of all time. Once I show you what's in these boxes, you're gonna be like, ugh,
Getting into fights on the internet is the worst hobby of all time.
Oh, you're so correct. It's smart. Somebody help me. In life, there are many
Drink some
hobbies.
tea.
Some of them are pretty neat. But
Hydration
what
drip.
are the worst ones? Well, I have the worst hobbies right here. You may disagree with some of them. With this one, I promise you, everybody will agree it's the worst one. I'm gonna open it, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's the worst one. Let's begin. Free soloing. If you do this, I cannot believe that you do this. If you don't know, free soloing is just rock climbing, but without any ropes.
Yeah.
Isn't that dangerous? Correct. Whew, I thought.
I really respect the chutzpah of people who can do free soloing.
With ropes is already very impressive. That's a lot of strength, dexterity, endurance. But I think I'm missing something with the whole no ropes thing. I'm gonna ask a question that I request nobody make fun of me for. Is free soloing any different from rock climbing? He doesn't know. Like if you don't have the ropes, is there a difficulty difference? I feel like the only difficulty difference is that if you mess up, you just don't get to climb cliffs anymore.
You also don't get to hang on the ropes.
Anymore.
You don't get to like take a break.
Racing, where if you took out the seatbelts and the rolling cage and the airbags and everything that made it safe, it feels like racing in a race with that car would be just as difficult, right? It's just if you mess up, you don't race anymore. That used to be a guy. I personally like to make mistakes without dire consequences. Oops, I made a mistake. No, that's not a mistake. That's just a happy little accident. No, Bob. This is the end of the road for me. You will never catch me in a million years free soloing. I don't think there's anything that would make it worth it. Hey, man, we should go rock climbing. Yeah, okay. That sounds fun. Yeah, and what if we went without the safety equipment? What? Yeah, like we took off the ropes and the harnesses and we just went solo, freely. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's a terrible idea. What are you talking about? That sounds fun and exhilarating. That sounds dangerous in a fun and exhilarating way. No, in a good way to end up in the hospital kind of way. Well, Brett's out there doing it. He's probably having tons of fun. I'm freaking out so hard right now. Fine, let's make a bet. We're gonna go free soloing, and if we end up in the hospital, then I give you $50. I do need $50. I don't know, it just seems dangerous for no reason. And that's why it's one of the worst. You just make me so nervous up there. Wouldn't you rather try baking? At least put a mattress at the bottom. Personally, I'd rather stay inside and afraid of the world. It's better this way. Next up, I'd like to show you something. Oh god, I think he's sponsored by War Thunder. You would be correct! Are you into vehicle combat video games? Well, then you'll love War Thunder, as it is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. Take command of over 2,500 real-world tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships, ranging from biplanes to armored cars of the 1920s.
War Thunder. Learn about leaked government information.
War Thunder has incredibly detailed vehicles with realistic graphics and authentic sound effects, so you don't have to make your own sound effects, no matter how fun that may be. War Thunder has a worldwide community of over 95 million players. We love comprehensive vehicle combat. I personally recommend War Thunder's comprehensive customization system.
Playing too many of these,
vehicles, including community-created ones, meaning you can make your vehicle truly reflect what's inside your heart. Oh my god. War Thunder offers 3 distinct game modes for whatever player type you may be. There's fast-paced and simplified physics of arcade mode, simulator mode for those looking for a
Save
no
progress check.
challenge style, and realistic mode for a balance between intensity and authenticity. However you choose to play is available. Play War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile devices now by using my links in the pinned comment or video description. All players on PC and consoles that haven't played in over the past 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account for a limited time only! Thanks War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Number 2. Pokemon card scalping. Collecting cards isn't the bad part. I myself have collected cards. Collecting cards is fun. It's been around forever. People did it with
yeah, these
baseball, there's Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! Nothing wrong with buying a box and just cracking packs. Who cares? That sounds fun. But there's a certain type of Pokemon card collector that nobody likes. The one that goes out and buys everything and fights with people, and then there's nothing left over for anybody else. What are we doing? You're ruining the experience for other fans. You're effectively taking away toys from kids, like little Timmy here. And it's not just kids, it's Big Timmy too.
I want Pokemon.
I know. Me too, Big Timmy.
I also want Pokemon.
Oh. Okay. What happened to good old-fashioned burglary? If one were to just burgle, you could hide your identity, and you don't have to fight people in public anymore. I'm here to steal Pokemon cards. Put them in the bag. Did you bring a weapon? No. Then I'm not gonna give you any Pokemon cards. But I'm burglaring. Also, what's with your mask?
I thought it looked cool.
Hey, give that back! No, no, you're not giving it back. Did you put the Pokemon cards in the bag yet? Yes, I did. Yay! I did it! It's so bad. People in the community are talking about how they just can't get any cards for their kids. This person on Reddit says, I started collecting with my 6-year-old last year. We haven't found anything in stores since March. She used to ask me about buying packs every week. After months of nothing, she stopped asking about 2 months ago. That sucks. Same story. We haven't seen anything since last November. Wasn't able to get any for her for Christmas or her birthday in February, and by the time she stopped asking,
Fucking scalpers,
she
man.
didn't have to be disappointed anymore. Ultimately, stop it. Number 3, cave diving. Specifically going into tiny holes in the ground that are difficult to fit in. Some cave exploring is cool and beautiful even. The beauty of nature takes many forms, but I cannot understand the drive to go underground in a hole that's barely fit for an insect to find another room full of rocks and like a lot of spiders probably. You're just in a room full of rocks. I don't think you needed to break your ribs to get to the next one. It's great that you want to get outside, but then you go outside to go inside of the outside. Just stay outside.
Even scarier than that is
Great
underwater cave
outdoors,
diving.
the sunshine, the fresh air. Oh look, a dirty
Yeah, I
duck
think
bloody
stuff
hole in
like
the ground.
that should always have like a limit on it.
Girl, get out of there. It's way better out here. I can have just as much fun in here as I have
Like
out
if someone
there.
buys
Thank you
literally your
very
whole
much.
stock,
A
that's a
butterfly literally
scalper
just
and they
landed
should
on
be
my
stopped.
head, and I'm listening to the birds chirp. How can
Other
a
customers
dark,
are gonna
thirsty
get
cave
angry.
ever compare? The cave experience is just as a magical
Eventually
experience
people are
as
just
you're
gonna stop
having
trying to buy the
a
cards.
spider just landed on my head, and I can listen to the natural, relaxing ambience of the cave. I have to be missing something. I don't know what it is. Am I too cynical? I feel like I have to be missing something. There's not a lot of hobbies that go from dangerous to lethal if it happens to rain that day. I don't think we're making it, boys. Even if I tried cave diving, I don't think I'd make it very far.
Yeah,
Probably
cave
get,
diving,
like,
it's
stuck
terrifying.
between 2 stalactites at the entrance. I don't think we're making it, boys. Maybe it's a desire to, like, explore and adventure and find something new. You know, there's always a Minecraft for that. Or Hytale. Plus, you guys freak me out. Look at this guy moving through a submerged section of a cave. You guys freak me out. I'm freaking out. Okay. Number 4, barehanded fish catching.
I don't
It's
like it
actually
when
really
people go
impressive.
through
I
like
just
really
don't
small
wanna do it.
spaces in cave diving. I don't
wanna
even like to think
I don't
about
wanna
it. It's
touch
scary.
fish. I don't like the texture. Moving on. Now, are you ready to see the worst hobby? The
That
one
texture.
I alluded to in the beginning of the video? Well, there's a guy in there. What? Hey, get out of there. Shoo! Here is the worst hobby, which is simply the worser version of cave diving. Underwater cave diving. It's
Yeah.
the same thing with the same freaking dangers, except for this time, there's a terrifying timer on it. Uh-oh, did you get lost and you can't find your way out? Eventually, that's gonna be a really big problem. In regular caves, there's like bats and stuff, but in underwater caves, who knows what's in there? Perhaps a creature humans have never encountered before, and probably for a good reason. You don't need to have a boulder crush you in an underwater cave to meet your demise. You just need to be there for an amount of time. Do you guys remember how much oxygen we have left? Well, that guy's dead. Do you remember? This gives me a bad feeling. I had a hard enough time playing Subnautica. There is never in 100 million gabillion years I'm ever gonna be found underwater in a cave. Unless you give me $50. Just kidding. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. If you guys have any hobbies that you do, that's
God,
pretty
even
cool.
if someone offered me like an exorbitant amount of money to cave dive as like a dare or something, or a bet or something, I'd be like, okay, I need to make sure that this money is absolutely securely gonna go to my friends and family after I die from having a heart attack from being scared from being in an underwater cave. Need to make sure it's worth it. I can barely watch people play Subnautica. Like, if it's the earlier parts and stuff where you're like just sort of in like the sort of reefs and whatnot, that's fine. If it's open ocean anything, I'm just so scared. I can't do open ocean, it's scary. Yeah, I was probably like, oh my god. Yeah, good. I love the ocean. I am terrified of the ocean. These things are equal. Yes, that is what you type when you see something scary. You go, ah. Except more, it would to match the tone of me being scared of the ocean is probably more like, ah. It's a very wimpy, high pitched noise. I want a pair of lace-up thigh-high boots. I got to wear a pair once. It was great. They were way too expensive for me to get at the time, but I love a pair of thigh-high boots. Okay. 6 mousies on this page. I'm gonna do the other ones. Right, yeah. 5 more down here. Sabo. I want to work on something loose for a little bit, so I'm gonna try to figure out the pistachio bag I want to work on. Stretch check. Consider adjusting your posture if you have to. Maybe take a drink of water. Or tea or whatever. If it's got water in it, close enough. I'm having a caramel chai. Which is some chai that I put a big lump of caramel into. Oh heck, it's not fully melted. Warming up my hands a little bit. I don't know if it's the way I hold my arm or something, but the hand I draw with gets so cold. Like when I'm drawing on my screen in the winter. Like, am I messing up the circulation, or is it just how I'm holding it, or is it just because it is cold? Okay. Yeah, figure out whatever works best for you. Tiny stickers is good. I can fit many of them on something. Mm. Oh. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Sounds like a professional art world in general. Aha. Oh. Ah, my pillow. I'm gonna grab a little bit of pie. Mm-hmm. Nice. So he knew about their system and was like, I'm gonna fucking get at this guy. I'm gonna give him the harshest critique of his life. This critique will be a full-on roast. Mm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because his head was a little weird. The thing that looked like a hat was part of his head, right? Hmm. Aha. Brain damage was still a little bit there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like he's looking for constructive criticism, and if you're not giving constructive criticism, they're not really gonna hurt him. Hmm. Aha. Jeez. Eh.
Oh my gosh! She's bald! She's bald and she's torturing people who have hair!
Fucking. He's torturing people with hair. The best lines of cartoons ever. Great choice for that. Mm. Mhm. It's actually made about the art world. Mhm. Maybe Pinky will be, contracts? Like, Pinky promises? Maybe they chose art world because it's like, I don't know, I think ring finger would be like devotion or something, right? Unless the ring finger is like a different. Do different countries and areas have like different, like places who do the whole like wedding ring thing? Do they have different fingers for that, or is it just always like the left ring finger? I don't know. Aha. Just because I opened this again, cats. I don't know, fucking cats. Aha. Interesting.
Oh, Nina, get off. You can't jump around, buddy. Yeah, no jumping. Oh.
Hmm. Yeah, like it's called the ring finger because that's where wedding rings go, right? So
Hi. Hey, Reed. Okay. Yep, okay. Okay.
okay. Aha.
I heard. What do you think? You want to go out in the snow? Oh.
Arthur. Literally, you're following me around shouting at me. What do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Just like your useless wastrel father sitting around with a bunch of shiftless drunkards. Get your rifle, why don't you? Let the truckers out of their misery.
That cat's really good at that show. Hmm.
En donde como que sí quiso pegar, pero luego todo lo demás no.
Taking forever to load.
You're joking right now.
Huh. Interesting. Is the pinky finger the... Well, I think it's different fingers each time, but... Is that the one usually, like, you know, like, people tie a string around to remember something? Not the one? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Ah. Hmm.
Он забрал картошку. Отпусти. Бэт, пожалуйста, отпусти картошку. Тебе нельзя картошку.
Hmm. Maybe the pinky is broken because they are outlaws or something? Gets still have something to do with, like, the in the red string of memory or fate or whatever, I don't know.
What a lovely little. Get your butt.
There are so many different like lore references and stuff in Limbus Company. Like, what could they have pulled from this time? A book I have heard of but haven't read. A book I have never heard of and never read. Some weird obscure stuff. Ancient poetry. Modern poetry.
Míralo. Con su estúpida cara. Estúpido.
Oh! Oh my god!
He is legitimately waiting for his food to come out. His food comes out at 9. He's watching.
You look so pretty.
Nice. Absolute goddamn literary dorks writing that series. And they're doing a great job. Hmm? They were mimicking each other?
The next train at platform 1 is the 12:10 West Midlands Railway Service to Stourbridge Town. Calling at Stourbridge Town only. This train is formed of one carriage. Platform 1 for the 12.
Where did I... Oh, yeah. And a good picture of her forehead here. I'm having a hard time simplifying my cat's markings because Tabby is a pretty complex markings. I want to like cartoonify it down a bit. Make these look a little angrier. Mm-hmm. Heck. Hmm. Huh. You can copy my homework, we didn't make it too similar. Makes it exactly similar. Oh, I'm sure some people do. Gets banned. Oh, jeez. Poor Gregor. Fuck the film. I decided I don't like them because I like Gregor. uh, yeah, they sound really annoying. Okay, I think I'm getting a little bit better at simplifying Pistachio's weird face. I should look at how Sweater Cats does it. I definitely want to get some stuff uh, from Sweater Cats with their black tabbies. Sweater Cats is a local artist here who does just like really cute original cat art and also does like pet portraits and stuff. And they show up at a lot of the conventions, so I definitely want to get some other black tabbies for this pistachio bag. Mm-hmm. Mm. I guess you can leave if their god wills you to, or if you're not faithful enough or something. I'm just gonna put on silly animal videos, and if anyone else will send something, you can. There's just background noise from me. A lot of these are very long. Why are some of these so long? Happy dogs. Well, at least this one's a bit shorter. Only 5 minutes instead of an hour. That's so loud. Turn the volume down because it's really loud.
We just got back from the vet. See, his legs are shaved. He had some general anesthesia. And he's really, really, really high. He's not moving around. He's still wobbling. And this is how you know a golden
Okay, so they're
retriever
rebelling.
is high. What am I supposed to do with this?
I should look up some Casual Geographic after this one.
You look terrified. Come on, baby.
Are the other members of the hand or the other fingers part of the government? Is there a palm? Is there a back? Frickin' Shibas.
Go to the board. Jump.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Hmm. Oh yeah, because like fingers tend to be connected by something, right? So
Good boy. Shake.
why have the theme of fingers if they're not part of a full hand?
Job.
Maybe the pinky was severed. Can shovelware channel. Okay, something better. Casual. Yeah. Aha. The middle looks so fucking silly. Got their ridiculous fashions and they're always mad about everything. Mm-hmm. I think this character look a bit too much like Steven Universe. He should change his hair type because he always had fluffy hair, but now I'll keep it really fluffy. I have a lot of characters with fluffy hair. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Games are all like interconnected, right? So they might introduce it in that story, then put it in Lemco later or something. Yeah, I'm gonna be listening to this guy for a bit.
Don't be scared. He's just a baby. He will get bigger. Close your eyes and visualize the most disrespected animal on Earth. Now open them and apologize for not thinking of the living laundry lin. You don't respect this dinosaur nearly enough. Many people have never seen this flying fossil, or they have and never wish to ever.
Okay, I'll leave this open in a tab.
Legitimate horror movie without them. Yet
Check out Bel-Air.
kind are still very much maligned by humanity. But you'll see why. The first two videos pretty much sums up our relationship with them, especially when you let it play all the way. I told you, just a baby. That is a baby Andean condor, and condors are Jurassic vultures on steroids. There's the Andean and the California condor, and both are built like a prehistoric paralysis demon. They're the closest relative of Argentavis, and I live a life of decency and virtue because otherwise I know I'd see this homicidal death pigeon in hell. Argentavis flexed a wingspan of up to 23 feet, weighed as much as an adult man, and would have been about the size of a Cessna 152. And on the ground, they would have looked that same grown man in the eye. The condors of today are slightly smaller, with Andeans having a wingspan of nearly 11 feet, which is how the bird can stay in the air for hours without flapping their wings once. In fact, by using thermal drafts, one condor managed to soar for 5 hours and cover 100 miles. All that and no flap. The feather relic is also one of the longest living birds, with some surviving up to 70 trips around the sun. Not only does puberty turn an avian dust bunny into Skeksis from Dark Crystal, they end up becoming the biggest birds of prey on Earth. You can't imagine waking up to a dragon and drag outside your window, and that's because you're not from Chile. Not only is it the national bird of Chile, shout out to Chile, they even have a Chilean comic based on them called Condorito.
Condorito.
Mental health, condors are absolutely harmless. Unless you watch Total Drama, because that might have been the first
censoring France.
Rocked. But yeah, it's a good thing that a bird that could pass for a man in a suit is a scavenger. To be fair, that is a man in a suit, but it's for a good reason. Dude, I was kidding about the Jesus. Time really hasn't been kind to the condor. It might actually be the dinosaur left behind. Way back in the day, California condors made a meal out of megafauna like mammoths, bison, and giant ground sloths after they passed tense. It's believed that it was the presence of plus-size prey in the Pleistocene that allowed condors to get so big. The problem is, mammoths and giant sloths got discontinued a while ago, meaning a literal big bird got left holding the bag. It's a biological anachronism. The Condorito was built for a time that is long gone, and when many of the megafauna disappeared, the condor flirted with the oblivion too. Somehow they survived, but that would not be the closest condors would come to extinction. The sick joke is, DDT was really good at murking insects, but even better at erasing everything else, and condors caught the biggest stray, since the same pesticides would weaken eggshells and cause them to break. Condors only have one egg every 2 years, and the lint chicken that comes out can take up to 8 to mature, and this painfully slow reproductive rate only made the effects of DDT hit harder. But wait, there's more. As an aerial coffin, many condors die from lead
Whales are
poisoning caused
cool.
by the bullets hunters leave in the dead. Penno Beowulf was
I can't remember what our state bird is.
who was released to help contribute to the population. He never would, as he would die.
I remember that our state insect is the tarantula hawk wasp, and the only reason I remember that is because it's the tarantula hawk wasp is the cazador in Fallout New Vegas.
But I do know him as the guy that got high, started a fire to stay warm, and caused a forest
Our
fire
state
that
cookie is
not only burned
Biscochito.
500 acres
We have some
of
interesting state
forest,
things.
It cooked 49 of the condors living there. When asked, did you start the fire? Cash said no.
I think our
fuck it,
state
and instead
butterfly
squeaked the
is
question. When asked if he felt bad, Johnny said, well, I feel pretty good right now.
that
But
really,
in the
really
40s,
tiny
the
one.
only
One of
thing
the
that got blazed.
smallest
The judge
known
reminded him that was a
butterflies.
hate crime towards condors. Cash asked, why should he care? After the federal government took $125,000 worth of care out of his account, he got his answer. Also, I lied. I can name one song, Ring of Fire. No currency could bring the condors back, though, and years of getting jumped by DDT, lead poisonings, and human hubris had the California condor population down all the way to 27 left in the world by 1987. The bird from a land before time was about to flatline. That is until folks finally decided to step up. For all the damage done to the condor, humanity came in clutch for the cause. They went all out, first by capturing all the wild condors left, and when they were done, every
Yeah, there are
condor
like so
alive
many
was
things that once
captured.
people
Then they really put
realize
in work. Condor
that
Ants are no longer released
that
after
there's
the
like
Spider-Verse.
they're messing up, they're like, oh shit,
Is that condors will
and
often get a
then
second
we come
even
up with a
further
solution and
after the
start
first one is removed. So the strat was to collect condor eggs for
like breeding
transgenic
condors
species,
and
basically
reforesting
doubling down.
areas and
This would
stuff.
save the condor population at the last absolute second, as condors would begin to be airdropped back into the wild in the 90s. And today, there's over 500 California condors, both in captivity and seasoned across the Southwest. There is one problem with raising condors, and it's that the condors can become attached to humans, and like we always say on this channel, the worst thing a wild animal can do is lose its fear of people. The condor compromise was raising these floof nuggets with hand puppets in their parents' likeness. This allowed keepers to teach baby condors how to condor while also retaining their natural fear of humans, which I thought was what was happening here, but I looked into it and this has nothing to do with conservation. This is just love of the game. Must be mutual, because if you look closer, that's also a condor in a man's suit. Convincing, right? But raising condors is more than just throwing meat at a panhandling puffball. There's a method. In the late 80s and early 90s, folks started raising kid condors in this like daycare system, but with no older birds. But because they had no older birds to use as role models, when the condors were released, they basically acted like teenagers with their parents gone for the
Wait,
weekend.
our
Raising
state
things
bird's the
like poach
roadrunner.
people, invade
How could I
campsites,
forget
and
that?
even enter
I love
wilderness.
roadrunners.
Things you don't want an endangered species doing.
Because they're such weird birds.
Instead, folks shifted tactics based on how wild condors come up and would have a baby sitting by itself most of the time, only occasionally being visited by an adult, aka a puppy.
Yeah, they made it so that the conservation efforts for Lapras rebounded.
Would be moved to a flight pen for the fledgling to learn how to fly.
the conservation effort succeeded in their population
rebound.
rebound.
Gun on any condor that got too friendly with humans to keep them appropriately people PTSD. They'd also use like shock therapy to teach condors to avoid frying themselves on power lines. But the job's not finished once you have condors in the wild. I won't call them the pandas of birds because, well, one, pandas don't deserve that self-plug, but two, condors have an even harder time making more of themselves. 25% of California condor eggs are infertile duds that have to be replaced before the couple gives up. Side note, I just remembered, condors can pull a Virgin Mary where a female can lay and hatch a fully functional egg with zero male involvement, like maternal menaces. That's parthenogenesis, and I feel like having that move in your bag and almost never using it, even with your population halfway in past tense, like I get that it's mostly our fault, but like help us help you. Anyway, there's no guarantee egg hatches anyway, because many chicks get accidentally
I
poisoned by
did.
microtraps,
I don't know
which
how I
harms their
forgot
system and
that.
starves them to death. So researchers gotta constantly sift through the nest for
I was sitting here like, I know what our state bird is, but what's our state bird? That's how bad my fucking memory is. If I have to recall information on the spot, I can't. Even if we have one of the coolest state birds in the entire country. You seen Roadrunners? They're wonderful.
This condor can avoid lead poisoning, pollution, and getting deep fried on power lines. It'll roam the skies for decades and hopefully make many more condors along the way. And if they're lucky, they'll have the same partner by their side the whole time. Condors do not get enough credit for how loyal they are. The symbol of unity can have a 5% divorce rate, and a penguin can propose with his best pebble and still get cheated on. But for the most part, a condor will see another condor and just spend the next 40 years making it work. Unless death really does them part. But condors aren't just loyal to their mate. Believe it or not, an overgrown struggle vulture has a social structure on par with chimpanzees and wolves. Condors have a social hierarchy, where every bird knows its rank, especially at the dinner table, where elders dominate. Which is why those raised without other condors end up with avian Alzheimer's, as in they forget their place. But it's not just a hierarchy. Condors will have a friend group that they'll hang with, and if you're around long enough, you'll see them preening, play fighting, and even chasing each other. They'll even look after other injured condors and share food with those that can't do so for themselves. What kind of bird of prey you know that's moving like that? The social butterfly nature is why we had to put on the hand puppets in the first place. When I said condors can get attached to humans, we're talking about a commitment lasting years. Eduardo is an Argentinian cattle farmer who found an injured condor on his property and helped bring the bird back to health. Now, every once in a while, the condor visits a man that saved him as a thank you and even tries to preen him. But to me, the wildest part is the condor didn't imprint on Ed because it eventually went back into the wild instead of following him around, so this venti vulture is actively going out of its way to see him. Who'd expect that kind of emotional depth from a cloud casket? Well, anyone who's worked with them, because they'll tell you that vultures are sky puppies with personality.
There's still time before Valentine's Day. Maybe I can draw something having to do with condors, because it would be cute.
Play with anything from actual toys to the socks and shoelaces of their preferred human. Many keepers swear by vultures being the most fun bird to train because their curiosity and attachment makes them act like precocious children always looking for their own approval. They're even on the short list of animals smart enough to use tools, with Egyptian vultures using rocks to crack open ostrich eggs. You wouldn't expect that from a career scavenger and death merchant. Vultures have been underrated, and fun fact, there's old world and new world vultures, and they're not related. Vultures are essential workers. They're just so important that nature went ahead and made them twice. But this is not a vulture glaze video, so before we talk about the good, we gotta speed run the side you probably already know. Everything I've said about vultures is still true, but it's also true that they have the nastiest diet of any animal. They'll eat the foulest, most putrid piece of meat like a kid eats candy, and having a weak beak and feet means they'll break into a body from the worst half. Which is why vultures are bald. No point in having feathers when you're going to be neck deep in a dead buffalo. Being bald also helps with temperature. So does another thing they do. Vultures practice urohydrosis, where they'll leak liquid nasty all over their legs.
They're bald and they're torturing animals who have hair.
A vulture with ashy feet? Now you know. Also, some vultures will weaponize their diet, as turkey vultures will projectile vomit sewer-smelling foulness I can't even imagine. Or maybe I just don't want to. Especially if they spray you in the eyes, and if it hits feathers, the acid nerfs the ability to fly. That's not the most offensive thing vultures do. Contrary to popular belief, black vultures will camp out in flock around sheep giving birth and immediately swarm the newborn, gouging the eyes out and eating the blind lamb alive. That's not even mentioning what vultures do to the economy. You do know vulture vomit and dookie juice can cause power outages when they pile up on transmission towers, and that vulture curiosity can send your car insurance into the stratosphere, as necrotweenies are liable to scratch paint, rip rubber seals and wipers off cars, and even tear the vinyl seat covers from boats and tractors. That's not as bad as the possibility of them contaminating water sources with their acidic feces, when the coliform bacteria from it invades water towers or reservoirs. Not to mention, being the highest flying bird can backfire when they join the Mile High Club after getting rear-ended by a plane engine. which makes vultures, in terms of damage, one of the costliest animals in America, estimated to cause about $3 million and $1.2 million in damages to military and civil aircrafts respectively. When you add the dent they leave in infrastructure and livestock, vultures are capable of burning a multi-million-dollar hole in the economy. But the real damage is to the economy of your social life. Let a guest see, smell, or otherwise perceive a committee of vultures on your property, and that might just be the last time they ever come over. But most people would probably forgive all of that if they weren't so ugly. So it's not hard to see how people see a vulture and see nothing but a nuisance. Well, vultures have no business being as OP as they are. Many animals have powerful digestive juices to eat carcasses, but no animal can match a Hades chicken's internal fortitude. Vulture's stomach acid has a pH lower than 1, meaning they can destroy toxins like anthrax and cholera that would one-shot almost anything else. Botulism is considered the most potent natural substance on Earth, as the toxins produced by bacteria attacks the body's nerves, causing muscle paralysis, difficulty breathing, and even death. Let alone the fact some people pay to put that in their face. The vulture's nervous system is resistant to that same bacteria and can also tank the same bacteria that can cause tetanus and gangrene with zero effects. Not to mention, when they're knee-deep in death and decay, leaking liquid on their legs not only cools them, it acts as an antiseptic that kills bacteria on contact. Vultures are what that 0.1% of germs are afraid of, and pathogens like tuberculosis, salmonella, leprosy, and even rabies
lemurgers are so
enter
cool.
the vulture's gizzard. Which is a big deal because if you watch this video, another plug, but you know rabies is the disease that scares me the most. The idea of a disease rewiring your brain chemistry for the worst while also making you afraid of water, something that is non-negotiable if you want to live, haunts me. Rabies buries an estimated 70,000 people a year, and with the most common cause of cases being dog bites, it's most destructive in areas with a large stray population, like India. But there's two things India did that gave rabies the green light. First was them criminalizing euthanizing stray dogs, but the main reason was a complete accident. Diclofenac was a drug used as a painkiller and anti-inflammatory for cattle, but that same drug also caused fatal kidney failure in the vultures that ate them. This did an absolute number on the vulture population, with many species cut down by 99%. Not only was it one of the fastest collapses of a bird species, the consequences of
I don't really know how to do
disappearance
vector
of
stuff, but I should probably
was
learn.
predictable, as the number of rabies cases skyrocketed. And you remember what I said about vultures in the economy? Well, the free fall of the vulture population likely led to the deaths of 500,000 people and an economic loss of 70 million, ooh, that's a comma, $70 billion. From 2000 to 2005.
Who has a
I
comma?
don't think it's just India that benefited from a scavenger stimulus package. Anthrax outbreaks are a semi-common occurrence in places like Kruger National Park in South Africa and Virunga National Park in the Congo, especially in places where you can have pool parties that contain more hippo than pool, and these outbreaks can kill up to 100 hippos at a time. Not only that, but these outbreaks can reach humans, as in 2011, over 500 cases of anthrax poisonings in humans were reported after 80-something hippos died of the same. Now imagine the carnage if you didn't have bald-headed equalizers clearing the disease for the free. Like I said, there's a reason nature thought vultures were so nice they made them twice. Vultures also contribute to society in less dramatic ways, as in the 1930s, the Union Oil Company of Texas started putting mercaptan in natural gas, and with turkey vultures often gathering around the smell, they'd use the birds as markers to locate gas leaks. Vultures also act as an alarm bell for illegal poaching activity, as them circling over an area is like a Batman signal to park rangers. Unfortunately, that has also made them a target for poachers, who purposely try to poison them. Evidently, the only toxin vultures have no answer for is humanity. Like I said, you do not respect vultures nearly enough, and I take back what I said about them being ugly. The griffin vulture mogs any eagle you can think of. The bearded vulture is like a Pokemon fire type come to life. The king vulture is just an ethereal specimen of a bird. That is if you can ignore the chesticle situation. Sleep, baby boy. If there are no condors alive, just know that I have died. And that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother, put some respect on the vulture's game. Shout out to this comment for making me make this video. Acknowledge your father, and I'ma see y'all in the next one.
Aww. The forbidden pets. sharks.
To be fair, I'd pump fake the higher power and anticipate being devoured if I ever saw that in the water with me, let alone in Long Island, at least if I didn't know what it was. So here's some Thresher Shark propaganda, because there's honestly nothing to fear. And I mean that more for him than you. This shark needs a lot more reassurance than you do. The Thresher Shark has been out here threshing for over 50 million years, and they spent all of it looking like they really need an adult. Search up social anxiety with gills, you will get a literal baby shark. They're physically designed to be passive. Thresher Sharks can't throw hands, because they don't have any. But if they did, they just twiddle their thumbs behind their back. They look like their entire existence is a jump scare. It's because the big eyes help when grocery shopping where the sun barely shines part-time. They have the same tapetum lucidum layer that cats have, which reflects light back into the retina and gives sharks night vision. Perfect for snatching prey out the dark like the Reaper. The Big Eye Thresher took that trait and pushed the slider all the way to the edge. Because yeah, there's actually 3 species of shark under the Thresher Shark umbrella. The common thresher, the pelagic thresher, and the Big Eye Thresher, which is a baby Looney Tunes version of the concept, with eyes rotated and angled toward the top of the head so the big eye can see directly above it. Those eyes are a cheat code when playing hide and seek with the things they eat. They're also the caricature of every bystander at Target watching someone's child throw a tantrum, silent judgment but crippling in action. And even though the eyes are involved with hunting, the Tsundere shark is still pretty introvert coded. Threshers are as shy as their headshot would suggest, and there's no verified record of one attacking a human. With how timid they are much more afraid of you, and will go out of their way not to be perceived, and will even exhibit diel-vertical migrations, where they spend the day posted down in the cold dark abyss, only to come up to the surface at night to feed. Hence the enemy eyes, especially for a big eye thresher, which is by far the most suited for life in an everyday bird box challenge. They even have a built-in heat system where the big eye has a network of blood vessels called the rete mirabile, I hope I pronounced that right, which circulates heat to the brain and eyes, and this system allows the thresher to thresh in water colder than a Yeti in a brass bra without having the metabolism of molasses like the Greenland shark. They wait 150 years to get laid. Nothing about them is fast. In fact, they might as well be the opposite.
Yeah, like a person's gonna be pretty small depending on the resolution you're working on.
And where Greenland
Gonna have a lot of space.
where there's polar bears around, threshers can be found in waters worldwide, like under the Atlantic Beach Bridge. But most importantly, where Greenland stomachs have been found with seals, polar bears, and allegedly a human leg, a thresher shark is almost physically incapable of biting you. Their eyes are so big, it somehow distracts you from the fact that they have a tiny mouth and some baby-ass teeth, too. It's like they were built to be non-confrontational, with teeth that can only really grief small fish and squid. A mini mouth to go with social anxiety, with a mama I true up face. Now, a shark is a shark, and nature didn't cook for longer than Saturn's had rings just to make a shark that couldn't defend itself. But it isn't the teeth. It's the 50 Shades of Grey cosplay a normal person would call a tail. That tail is a lot longer than you think, and it's for slapping the absolute daylights out of prey with a nearly 10-foot whip. That tail hits harder than the job market for a comp-sci major, and one hit can incapacitate multiple fish. And once again, that tail is a lot longer than you think and can slice prey clean in half. Threshers slap prey so fast, it boils the water around them and creates cavitation bubbles. Cavitation bubbles are small pockets of pure chaos that are thousands of degrees and release incredibly destructive energy when popped. It's the same science the pistol shrimp uses to knock prey straight off the mortal plane, and these bubble nukes mean thresher sharks don't need a direct hit to life-deprive multiple fish. The process is pretty insane to witness. Scientists studying them say it's one flick of a tail, followed by a mess of ruptured swim bladders and broken spines, which the thresher shark immediately eats. Don't let the kawaii guppy distract you from the fact that if you're a fish, the thresher can demote you to flesh confetti in 2 camera frames. But the thresher can also package 12 years of prejudice on a person with one hit. There are legends of fishermen messing with a thresher until it swung its tail and took one of their heads off. Now, do I believe a grown man genuinely got his shit smacked smooth off? Not really. But the same power slap Pokemon that's Eternal Nightquill to fish and even some birds, like yeah, they will bird strike Tweety right out the air. Could easily knock your teeth out and probably break your neck. But again, there isn't really a record of a thresher shark attacking a person, and if there is, you definitely did something. If you make a shark that looks like a kid caught with a DS under the pillow at 2 a.m. choose violence, you ask for it in everything but writing. He's just a shy shark, but he's not the shy that's a shy shark. Haplobepharus edwardsii is a type of cat shark, also called a happy eddy. The Haplobepharus genus has 3 other species: the plain happy or the brown shy shark, the pretty happy or the dark shy shark, and the natal shy shark, or happy chappy. And the happy eddy's more common name is the puff adder shy shark, named puff adder due to sharing the venomous serpent's skin pattern. But it's also been called the donut because their personality is the polar opposite. When the puff adder side shark gets scared, it'll curl itself into a ring and cover its eyes with its tail. That way it protects its vital organs and makes the shark harder to swallow. It also makes them virtually invisible off the fact that if they can't see you, surely you can't see them. Or they'll just play dead and pray that whatever triggered it loses interest. To be fair, it's not for no reason. Happy Eddie is a crazy name for a shark that gets bullied by everything. Bigger sharks like Seven Gills will prey on them, and fur seals
I don't know what designs you're doing. Go with whatever you think looks best.
A lot of times the fur seal play session
Stickers tend to just be like, a flat design can really pop on a sticker, you know? Depending on it, shading could look cool, but if it's gonna be really small, then it might not really matter. I say go whatever looks the most, like, I don't know, bold, striking, whatever gets the design across best.
Who tend to see them as a pest, which is why the puff adder shy shark isn't just shy, it's endangered and only found in waters off South Africa. And to be honest, he should be shy and scared, but not nervous, because we already have one of those. I feel bad for the nervous shark. Even its Latin name couldn't resist throwing astray, which means the shark essentially gets called a punk in multiple languages. There's nearly 200 species of shark that can be found in Australia, and the nervous shark seems to be the only one who knows it, as they're incredibly shy and timid. Nervous sharks are notoriously difficult to get on camera, because most won't let you get close enough to try, which means this is one of the few times where the prey is infinitely scarier than the predator, as nervous sharks have been known to eat venomous sea snakes. That same shark requires the mannequin challenge just to be perceived, because any small movement or even the click from a camera sends them swimming off into the abyss. It's actually not uncommon to see them in a group, or a shiver as it's called, but let one lay an eye on you and the whole show will go ocean incognito. And with all they do to social distance from us, it makes sense that almost every picture of them taken was against their will. So imagine what it's like to be a blue shark. Blue sharks look like they were told a dirty joke years ago and are still shocked as hell at the punchline. Like the thresher, blue sharks have big eyes to help with hunting and clocking prey in the dark, since the predatory pinhead does most of his work at night. And like many sharks, blues use counter shading, meaning if you're looking at them from above, the blue roof blends in with the blue from the abyss. But if you're below them, the white underbelly disappears in the light from the sky. But it's possible the color-coded camouflage is for hiding from more than just prey. In 2012, dive operator Chris Follows was leading a group a little off Cape Town as usual, with a group of 10 blue sharks pulling up on the bait Chris had set. Chris was a 20-year dive veteran at this point, so this wasn't new to him, or at least it wasn't until a big male fur seal spawned in and tore one of the sharks in half and started feeding on its abdomen. He then eviscerated another shark, and for dessert, he bisected a third. The seal savaged 5 sharks in a row until Chris eventually shoved off, but it's likely the seal clutched a 1v10 with very little effort. As insane as that was, if Chris had a nickel for every time he watched a shark get murked by a seal, he'd have 2 nickels. Because in 2004, he watched the first seal chase down a blue shark, toss it into the air, just to disembowel it and eat his stomach and liver. So forgive a predatory Poindexter if he looks like he's constantly afraid of getting his lunch money taken. It's actually one of the reasons blue sharks aren't super common in aquariums. They're not super hard to feed and house, but they often get bullied by tank mates like bull, gray reef, sandbar, and sand tiger sharks. And by bullied, I mean the blue sharks got eaten alive in front of a live viewing audience as soon as it got introduced to another species. That, and they have the habit of brushing against tank walls until they rub their skin raw and die of an infection. Who would have thought that a shark that can travel thousands of miles in a year essentially self-destructs in a fishbowl? But they're not as neurotic as a nervous shark, and they've been nicknamed blue dogs for apparently having the personality of a puppy. The same fish that would get shoved into a locker at shark school is inquisitive and will investigate human divers, where they'll bump you and prod you, but not like in a predatory, intimidating way, but the way a toddler might try to get your attention while you're on the phone. Now, I don't want to do the whole sea puppy thing because a blue shark will bite the goodwill out of you, but mostly in the same way a squirrel bit me as a kid, mostly by accident and largely by my own actions. In their defense, there have been 13 recorded blue shark bites on humans in history, with 4 deaths. On the other side, the blue shark is the most heavily fished shark, with up to over 80% of the sharks dying as bycatch being blue sharks. Meaning, millions of these sharks get murked by people a year, and most of them are just a casualty. Clearly the blue shark can't catch a break, which might be why they have to personally screen any human in their area. But if you're looking to get in the water with sharks for the first time, you can't really go wrong with a pretty blue. And not just because they're as close to harmless as a torpedo with teeth can get, but because you're almost guaranteed to get a picture like this. Or this. Maybe even this. Oh my f***ing days, what am I looking at? Who in the oh, that's George. The Port Jackson shark is named after Port Jackson, the Sydney harbor, and that was named after Sir George Jackson. The Port Jackson shark is a harmless cinnamon roll of a predator, unless you're looking at it from the front, or if you step on them, because their dorsal spines are believed to be venomous. Though if you have the heart to step on this shark, you deserve the consequences. Especially because there's not really a case of a Port Jackson attacking a human, and I say not really because of what went down in 2011, which wasn't really an attack more than the Port Jackson clamping its mouth around a Victoria man's leg. But it wasn't hard enough to draw blood, and the man was still able to swim away with the shark attached, so it was more like the shark version of an ankle, but I mean a child hugging your leg. That is the closest a literal cuttlefish gets to violence. They don't even bite in the traditional sense. PJ sharks have smaller, pointed teeth in the front for things like small fish, and flatter teeth in the back to crush mollusks, and you can actually tell the age of a shark based on the type of teeth you find more of in their mouth. They also have some of the weirdest eggs I've ever seen. I know that kind of came out of nowhere, but I didn't know how to transition to the topic, and I could not let this slide. It looks like a screw, because that's exactly what mothers do. They'll screw the egg into rocks, coral, or any crevice so it doesn't get dislodged later. Unfortunately, that doesn't stop other fish or even other Port Jacksons from uncovering the eggs and slurping the egg yolk out like an amniotic go-gurt. But the main reason I'm bringing George up is because they're so cute it actually makes me angry. I guess that's just cuteness aggression. I aggressively want to protect this shark at all costs. Now again, I don't want to push the sea puppy thing because I believe that could be just as bad for sharks as demonizing them. But the PJ makes that real difficult with the fact that they can form genuine bonds with people. Rick Anderson is an Australian diving instructor who's been in a nearly decade-long relationship with a shark. Rick met her as a 6-inch freshly hatched Port Jackson pup while leading a diving class. According to him, he just wanted to show his students how friendly the sharks could be and coaxed one of them onto his hand so he could give her a pet. In return, the shark showed Rick just how committed a she shark can be, as she'd be attached to him ever since. Even as a 6-foot adult, she'd actively ignore and swim past other divers just to get her cuddle time with Rick. And no, he never fed her, he never even gave her a name yet, like a homing pigeon. If he was in the water, she'd find him. A beautiful story. For a shark so adorable, you could just take one and put it in your pocket if they didn't grow to the size of an NBA point guard. Luckily, there's a shark for exactly that, and you'll never guess its name. The pocket shark was found completely by accident. It was during a Gulf of Mexico expedition meant to study sperm whales that scientists found a shark that honestly looks like a whale nature shrunk as a bet. The name comes from the fact that you could honestly smuggle one in your pocket, but also for the small pockets these sharks have under their gills, which are filled with bioluminescent fluids. It's believed that this imitation whale squirts glow-in-the-dark ink as a distraction against predators. We say believed because we can only assume off of the 2 specimens that have ever been caught. What's not a theory is that this baby-faced bioluminescent flashlight has invariably increased my will to live. Although you could say that about any shark here. And on top of that, that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to humbly beg you not to use this video as an excuse to cuddle up to a shark. Not only could that be remarkably bad for your health, but treating a whole predator like a sea puppy might be just as bad as seeing every shark as another installment of Jaws. You can love them, hate them, I'd rather you love them, but damn it, you're gonna respect them. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother, do not hug a shark, please. Touch grass, call your father. Thank you all for another great year, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
Can't stop me, I'm gonna hug a shark.
He's got your wiki. Yes.
Doesn't take forever to draw this embroidery, but it'll be cute. I spent about 2 hours, right? Yay. Okay. Check that out. Okay. Able to draw a bit more and plan out the next bag. And my pen died. It has been 2 hours, so it's good. Good time to sign off. I started doing a big stretch and I got stuck. Okay, ow. Alright. Okay, to sign off and finish my food and put some other food away in the kitchen. Oh god damn it, yeah, I have to try to look at the dryer to figure out why it's not drying things properly. Okay. I just gotta do it. If I find something that'll be good. Okay. No problem. Good luck with the vector stuff and the writing and all that and the comic. Yep. Night.